Alright, how can we get the create mod in our Minecraft? Well, we'll go to create on CurseForge, which shows 140 million downloads. Go to files, mod loader, select Forge, then all versions, and pick the one you want. In my case, it's 1.20.1. Save this version, press Windows plus R, type app data, go to roaming, then Minecraft, okay? This is where we'll save our version in the mod folder, alright? If it doesn't exist, right click, new, create a folder called mod, and put it there. Now just click the three buttons. Hit save file, okay? And we'll save this file without any issues. And that's it, okay? There's no required dependencies or anything. For a mod with so many animations, it's surprisingly simple. So there you have it. How do you get andesite alloy in the create mod? Well, there are a few ways to do it. You can mix andesite with a zinc nugget in a mixer. That's more advanced, but the basic way most people do it is to craft 2 iron nuggets with 2 andesite. That's how you make andesite alloy. That simple. How can we get the andesite coating? Well, here it is, okay? This coating is made with a log and andesite alloy. The andesite alloy is made with 2 iron nuggets and 2 andesite. Just place the log, right click, and you'll have the andesite coating, okay? It's that simple. As you can see, the andesite coating has some utility. It can be used for a base, support, or to decorate our axles as shown there. How can we craft brass cladding? Well, basically, we'll take an oak log, any bark-free log, and a brass ingot. We'll place the log, right-click with the brass ingot, and that's it. To make a brass ingot, you need a mixer, a copper ingot, a zinc ingot, and an active blaze burner beneath. We'll see that later. The brass ingot comes out of this process. To activate the blaze, if you have it, just right-click with the log, and there you have it. How do you get copper cladding? Simply take a log without bark, okay? Right-click a copper ingot, and you'll have copper cladding. What's this cladding for? Well, there you have it. It's for support or decoration with copper-based element. Alright, that's it. How does the wrench work in the mechanism mod? Okay, first the wrench has a broad description. It's a multi-purpose tool for kinetic contraption. It says, when used on blocks, it rotates components around the clicked face, right? Crouch while interacting with components and such. Replaces minecart and train-based gadgets. Well, I'll set the language properly now. Basically, it rotates items a bit, okay? For example, this crank, it destroys it in this case, see? But we could also make it rotate, right? Let's see, this mechanical press. I'm looking for something rotatable. Not much here yet. Look, there it is. For instance, that gear could be turned, see? I don't want to break more, but it helps rotate items. Got it? It's the tool for interacting with all mod tools and such. It's a must-craft item made with 3 golden sheets, a cogwheel, okay? And a stick, alright? So, look, I'll grab the cogwheel and, for example, I can turn it, see? As you can see, there are different directions and such. What are they for? What are the engineer's glasses for, okay? In the mechanism mod, basically you equip these glasses, right? And they let you see, first of all, item components and even their energy use, okay? But without them, I can't see this stuff, see? I put on the glasses and I can see it. They also show me, well, the energy use, stress and power consumption, okay? So the speed at which the gears move and all that. These glasses don't protect you, but they're necessary. I think the glasses work as a helmet too, right? Let's see. Yep, it does. So equip them as a helmet and you're set. How does the mechanical press in the create mod work? Well, we can basically set up the mechanical press as a pressing device, right? We attach a crank or power source and it'll keep turning as long as there's something to press. If there's nothing, well, it won't press. Look, there you have it. Okay, but it's useful for many more things. Let's take a look. All right, they give us a brief introduction here. As you can see, it can process objects placed underneath it, okay? Objects can be put directly below or in a container, and it just does its thing, you know? And there they show us automation with the crusher. So yeah, that's what it does. How does the create mods crank work? Okay, for example, here I have a press, right? Let's say, boom, I'll put copper there, and if I right click, the press will go up, okay? But as you can see, I can make the crank go back and forth. What's this for? Well, take fans, for example. If I push, let's see if you can see it. Look there. Not that one, this one's more visible, okay? If I push, you see particles going to the bonfire. Now, if I crouch, particles go outward, right? This is a fan, okay? But the particles are going outward. Fan is expelling air, and if not, it's drawing air in. That's basically what it does. It also helps change the direction of energy connections and such, so there you have it. How does the deposit work in create mod? Basically, the deposit helps us interact with different items, right? We can see it right here. It serves as a station for placing items, as you can see. For example, this item we drop or place it with Q and it goes right in, see? And here we're given some water buckets. It helps with pressing and other tasks, okay? It has many uses, but mainly keeps items in place so they don't vanish. How to get mineral sheets in the Create mod, for example, copper, iron, gold, or platinum sheet. Well, we start with the ingots, right? It's as simple as using a mechanical press. Craft the mechanical press, which is this one here, with the shaft, andesite, and other materials. There's the shaft. We need a crank, crafted like this. And finally, a depot, crafted this way. Just place the items, right? Click the crank and boom, we have our sheet. Another ingot, drop it, right click, and there's the next sheet. And we keep going like this, okay? And that's how we do it. How does the mechanical mixer work? Let's look at the mechanical mixer's utility. Basically, it requires a mixer, right? It needs a basin, which is essentially a cauldron. You put in different items, for example, blue and red dye, then mix them. It's like crafting, and it creates purple dye. We can also use this same device with a blaze burner, okay? A blaze furnace. We light the furnace to melt materials. Here's a blaze burner. Right click to light it, add zinc. Well, actually, we should drop it in, right? There it goes. Add copper, add. See? It shows up here. Zinc and copper. Now we use a crank. Chug, 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 chug. Let's see. Oh, it needs gears. Sorry. Add a gear, then use the crank. There we go. See this? This is a gear. That's why it needs to connect to another gear. Now we'd simply mix it, okay? But the blaze ran out of fuel, so nothing. There it is, see? Perfect. Mixing. And there we have the... we don't have the mix because this blaze keeps dying, right? Come on, please. Now it's working, right? Finally. Important. Don't put any items here as it acts as a filter, okay? And anything that's not a brass ingot, for example, won't work, which is what happened before. How the hell did you get a blaze burner? Alright, it's actually much simpler than it seems. First, we need the empty blaze burner made with 4 iron sheets and 1 netherrack. We need a blaze and we just right click it with the empty box. That's it. We've already captured it. Okay, what's it used for? It's used for heating cauldrons or basins as we call them in English. It's lit with wood. They explain that if we give it the blaze cake, right, it turns blue and gives more heat this way. Got it? That's this one here, the blaze cake. And how do you craft the blaze cake? Well, we take this lava inserter, okay? We take a blaze cake base, add lava, and that's it. So yeah, that's how it's done. How do the encased fans and the create mod work? Here are some demos. Basically, we place a fan and a crank to push it. See how the particles move? It expels or attracts depending on if we're crouching. As you can see, it works with water, fire, soul fire, and lava. Let's look at how it functions. You can see it has some gears attached. It connects, and one pushes while the other attracts. If we change the redstone chain. So what can we use this for? Well, it can be useful for... There you have it. Combined with lava, it can convert items or act as a furnace. Use it as an oven by putting items in the tank to cook, as we're seeing. With fire, it has its own crafting recipes. Let's take a look. A bell becomes a haunted bell for the nether. Cool. We're seeing quite a few crafting options. The fire version cooks food, basically. Water can turn concrete powder into solid concrete, among other things. So yeah, it's that simple. How does the millstone work? In the create mod, you just put your crank in and it spins. It's quite simple. Let's look at the mod's explanation, but basically you see it has a gear and I put the crank below. Basically, items you put on top will be processed, okay? As you can see, you can drop the item in, it'll grind, and after a while you get the result with a right click. The cool part is, well, here's where it gets tricky. Let's throw this in, okay? Now it has wheat inside grinding away. Then there are things like this mace, which I should get now indeed. You can take the mace and craft stuff like slime balls, right? Basically, you take this paste and mix it with water to get DOF. Then add dye to the DOF to make a slime ball. Got it? That's how you get the glue. It's a pretty complex way to make glue, I know. You could just kill a slime if you find one, but it's up to you. The create mod lets you automate things, hence this option. So yeah, that's all there is to it. How does the mechanical water wheel work in create mode? Well, basically this wheel needs 32 RPM, right? It's quite, well, it's not that powerful, but still. Basically the wheel works with water. As you can see, it needs a water stream. The water can't be infinite. There has to be a current. We can use wood planks to change its appearance, as we're seeing, okay? And here, it's not explained, but if we stack, it generates 8 revolutions per minute and 256 SU. Got it? If we stack 3, we'll have the same RPM as they move at the same speed but more stress, 768, okay? So stacking these auto generators gives you more machine stress and power. How does the speedometer work? Well, its name says it all. Basically, if we place it in front of different machines, it evaluates the speed of the components it's assigned to. As you can see, it changes color. It turns purple when near max speed. It also connects to redstone. The higher the speed, the stronger the redstone signal. It's similar to how comparators work, right? like when you place them near a chest. Note, it's low now. This info you see, it's visible because I'm wearing engineer's goggles. You'll need them to see it too. How does the stress meter work? As you can see, it has a small needle from green to red to show the stress on our machinery. Basically, you connect the stress meter, okay? You place it where there are gears or more movement, and it calculates the stress there. Got it? If you wear the goggles, as it says here, you don't need to watch the needle. Just getting close will tell you. It'll show you the amount of energy it's giving off. As you've seen, if you add a comparator, it can send a signal like a chest would, right? The fuller the chest, the stronger the signal. Same goes for the stress meter, okay? So that's it. It's that simple. How does the big water wheel work? Basically, that water wheel pushes water, right? You can't see it, but there's water here. Wait a second. There's water here, see? Indeed, it's moving the wheels. These water wheels have 512 power, twice the small ones, okay? And they do exactly the same thing, got it? So you connect them, right? They generate movement, which in turn produces power. As you see, more water won't improve its performance, okay? It won't spin faster, just let the current flow and that's it. It generates infinite energy as it can't break or burn. By the way, I think you can change its color with logs. I think it was with logs, planks. There, you can change its color with planks, okay? If you want to, it's there for you. How does the windmill bearing work? Okay, so basically it has a tension of 512. What this item does is you hit it, put a base on it, and then add these contraptions, alright? Those contraptions, I can't grab them now, but they're right here, okay? It's the windmill sail frame and the windmill sail. Basically, you put this here, that there, and then you start placing this base. Boom, boom, boom. Got it? Look, I don't want to set it all up, and then you put this base, there it is, and then it spins on its own, okay? Again, I don't want to build it, but I will so you can see it. It's crucial to right-click the machine after all this, or it won't register. Oh, let's see. Right-click to change the rotation distance if you hold it, okay? Just keep following it. Right-click to make it stop, alright? It'll stay still, and you can continue editing it. I doubt adding more simply generates more, but I'm not sure. 1024. If I remove this height, it's still 1024. If I extend it just because I want to, boom, boom, boom. Did it go away or not? I don't think so, huh? Oh well. Let's see. 1566. It has increased, right? Well, it must increase somewhat. So yeah, that's how it works, okay? It's that simple. How does the gearbox work? Basically, the gearbox allows us to change movement in the X range, okay? For example, rotating the X line. That is changing it to the Y line. I think to Z as well, okay? But for Z, we need a vertical gearbox, which is this one here, okay? That's the one I connected later. We can check the create mods explanation, but it'll show the same, right? It says rotating between points can be messy. It explains how gears could do it, but it's tedious, so we use this instead. And that's it. Also, it can... Look, it works in reverse, okay? It reverses like real gears, right? Yes, just like gears, indeed. Then there's this other vertical one, okay? No need for that. So it's that simple. How does the clutch work in create mod? Well, we have this little box here, right? Basically, this item gives us rotation in a straight line, and the clutch stops that signal, breaking the connection. We can use it if the system gets overloaded or something similar. What's the purpose of the gear shift or sequence gear shift? Okay, we have two here. Basically, if we turn a crank, the shaft will move everything in the same direction. If we activate a gear shift, as it says, it alternates, right? That's literally what it does. The sequence gear shift, unlike the other, will alternate its movement based on instructions you give it, okay? You see it makes 2 pulses right, then 3 left, thanks to a redstone signal. That's what it'll do, and that's it. Simple as that. How do belts work in the create mod? Well, first of all, you can dye them, okay? That's the first thing. Second, they're used to transport items. To place them, we need a shaft at each end. Right click with the belt and there it is, okay? They have other uses besides item transport, like vertical and diagonal placement. Vertically, they won't transport items, okay? It's important you know that. Look, right clicking lets you deselect, see? You can add shafts along the belt without issues. It won't explain vertical use, but there are different uses. No. We can add points for gear power or whatever. So that's it. Items can move diagonally, but not vertically, okay? Vertical belts can transmit movement, okay? They transfer shaft rotation, sorry, that's all. How do gearboxes work? Here we have the gearboxes, and we're already seeing a bit of how they function. Basically, you turn one and the others follow suit, right? You don't need to be a genius, but let's look at the explanation they give us here. Essentially, they provide us with they return the same power and speed to all the other outputs. Got it. This allows us to reuse it. If we use the key on top, we can make the output vertical. okay, that is perpendicular to what we've created. How can we increase gear speed? Here we have a creative engine, right? As you see, I can increase the base speed, but it'll overload. Let's set the base speed to 1, okay? At first it moves slowly. So what do? We go from a large gear to a small one, connect with shafts, then to a large gear again, and repeat. Big, small, big, small. We keep doing this to the end and beyond. From start to finish, you see little movement at first, then it increases. If I increase to 16, it'll start at 16 and end at 256, see? Without increasing stress, which is pretty cool. Try to avoid this, as too many high-speed tools can lower frame rate. This animation consumes more resources than you might think. How does the steam engine work? Okay, alright, let's look at the steam engine or paper wide. Basically, for the steam engine, you put here, it doesn't show the items, does it? But you take these boxes, which are the fluid tanks, okay? Connect them all, then add a fluid pipe to a mechanical pump. This will pump water, got it? Water flows inward. Okay, we also need heat, which the campfires below provide plenty of. Note, this pump needs gears to work, alright? Here's the large gear connecting to the pump, linked through a transmission box that spins automatically. This machine generates its own energy, okay? Now, with that explained, build a 3x3 here, and connect the tank's outlet. These stats are automatic, and as you can see, they've placed the arm here, okay? Instead of above, they've put it to the side. Well, I guess they're a bit unique. Oh look, they've made a 2x2 setup. Okay, well, you can make a 2x2 if you want, alright? And this arm here is what provides energy, okay? Now in this case, it powers this gear so I can directly launch the water pump. As you can see, they just, well, take it from wherever they want, okay? And that's it. Here you can see they're using blazers. The advantage of blazers is they give more power and such, okay? That's up to you, but remember, blazers need refilling. So you'll need a machine to supply wood. Unless you have a wood farm, I don't know, it could be profitable, eh? I'm not saying no, but it'll increase your prof a lot more, okay? And here we go, all out. Come on, blazers. Share blaze, share blaze. It's not that hard to get compared to wood, honestly. And there you have a massive machine with who knows how many gears working. Look. Okay, well there we have it for all the tryhards. How do funnels work in create mode? Well, we have two here, the big funnel and the brass one. Basically, that they're going to show us that they can take items from a chest, right? Or absorb them, got it? They're ideal for moving items to and from inventories above. The wrench determines the input direction, okay? With it, we can set items to go in or out, got it? That's important. I'll put items here and you'll see them being ejected. There, it's ejecting them. Why? Because it's in output mode. In input mode, it'll be different. It has a red side and redstone signals to control item flow. That's about it for the items. How do the ducts work in the create mod? Got it? Ducts basically can move items up or down. Okay, this helps us move items vertically between inventories. You can use wrenches to make windows or cover ducts with blocks. It's just a way to transport items vertically, and that's about it. How does the weight ejector mechanism work? Basically, you just jump, okay? It can launch you this far from here. Now, basically how it works is, well, you put an ejector on it, right? This ejector is loaded with gears or such, letting you shoot about 30 some blocks, probably 32 or so. Only in a straight line, though. Cool part is coordinating several, you know? There it is, to launch from one spot to another. Got it? As you see. Even items can be launched, okay? I launched myself, but we could launch items too if we wanted. So this is how far it threw me. Not sure exactly, but about 30 blocks, okay? To charge it, you just do this. Click, 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 click. As you can see, it's slowly going down. It needs a lot of pressure, alright? Just so you know. To place it, right click and hold. Sorry. Let's see how it was. There it is. Crouch and right click, okay? Crouch, right click, and you'll see the box. See? And that's it, simple as that. How do tunnels work? There's andesite and brass, right? Tunnels basically help us cover our belts inside the mechanized mountain. Not much else to it, okay? So why do we want to cover them? Well, they can divide items for us, you see? Like dropping just one item, right? While others go their own way. And why cover it up? Well, to prevent items from sneaking in, you know? If we drop an item, it won't slip through, got it? Brass tunnels let us have filters on each side to sort items. They control which items come out where, you see? So they have these extra uses. Alright, how does the rotational speed controller work? This item is crafted using a brass casing and a precision mechanism. The precision mechanism is made from a gold sheet and various presses, okay? One press is powered by a cogwheel, a large wheel, got it? And another uses an iron nugget. You just throw this in, alright? Place it, and you have an 80% chance of getting this tool. Then we have the brass casing, made with a brass ingot and wood. Right click, done. So how does it function? Basically, it allows us to change the rotation direction for an axis, see? And switch it, for example, to a gear. It also lets us set the output speed we want. You can see here, Well, first there's the rotation, okay? Turn right, turn left, got it. Then there's speed, and we can set it to 256. Now, if I give this a push, it'll zoom out. See? Full speed ahead. Okay, so basically, I'm not sure if I can put the crank here. There it is. And it works in reverse too, see? Obviously, be careful with the speed. This is max velocity. So yeah, it's pricey, but great for quickly revving up our gears. How does the crushing wheel work? This item in the Create mod is made with lots of alloys, okay? As you can see, this is how it's crafted in the mechanical crafter. And basically, we're going to get 2 of them. And what's it used for? Well, we put the 2 together like this. And we make them rotate inwards, okay? They spin inwards, and you drop items like gold into them. And it'll turn into raw gold, got it? That's basically how it works. If we check its uses, we can see what we can make, like throwing in crimsite for iron. We can throw in redstone for nuggets or cobblestone for XP, okay? We can even break down diamond armor. It's a really profitable item. I'd recommend checking it out because it has its benefits, you know. It's not crazy or super exploitable, but hey, it gives XP and more, so give it a try. How does makes mechanical arm work? So we have this tool made with a large piece and 3 brass boards, right? It's a precision mechanism and more, okay? If we right click it, you can see it has 3 modes. Round robin, forced, and first target preference, got it? So how does it function basically? Well, it's basically it's a hand. It's a hand, sorry, that moves items from one place to another. They explain that we right click here to assign targets with this machine, okay? Do this with the machine in hand, then place it. Now with these points set, we power it and it'll move items around. For this use, it's not groundbreaking, but it's handy for auto crafting or inventory management. Moving stuff between chests or even organizing things. It's not the most practical, but it can be a lifesaver in compact setup. So keep that in mind. How do pipes work in the Create mod? Well, here they are, okay? We have the smart fluid pipe and the fluid pipe. Basically, these pipes allow us to move fluids effectively, right? They let us transport fluids, say, from one tank to another. They explain that right-clicking with our tool machine can make it transparent to see through. Connections aren't perpendicular, and through a pump, we can move liquids from one place to another. Then there's the smart fluid pipe, which lets us control the fluid type. When placed on a resource, it can specify what fluid is extracted. Right-clicking applies a sort of filter, okay? We only want this type of fluid. This filter helps when there are different inputs, ensuring everything goes to the same tank without mixing. So yeah, it's that simple. How does the mechanical pump work in the Make mod? Well, basically we have this tool, and what it does is it's a pump, okay? It pumps liquids, okay? Here, as you can see, they're showing us how it pumps liquid from one tank to another, okay? It works through a gear, requires movement, obviously, and we're seeing how it ends up generating movement, and it can also be used in reverse, okay? But of course, you have to right-click with the machine. You see it has this little arrow here. In fact, if I press escape, do you see this little arrow pointing there? Well, we need to make sure it's pointing the other way, okay? Then we just place it again or right-click it with the machine, with the wrench. How does the hose pulley work? Basically, this tool can fill or drain large amounts of fluid. It uses kinetic energy, as we can see from the movement. The hose height is controlled, lowering and retracting as needed. Here's the output where we can connect pipes to extract or release. For example, it's releasing water. See, look how it fills everything up. We can also drain water with it. Seems minor, but imagine draining lava in the nether with this. I think it's a pretty crazy utility, to be honest. So there you have it. How does the fluid valve work? Got it? This is the fluid valve with a pipe and iron sheet. Holding V shows how it controls fluid flow through connections. As you can see, the fluid is arriving now, but we need to open the valve for the fluid to pass. It's a simple way to stop or let fluid in. Why would we want to stop or let fluid in? Let's say the tank is already full, right? Or we're moving the tank and don't need more liquid. This way we can stop the liquid from entering, and that's it. How does a fluid tank work? It has a capacity of 800 MB, which is basically 800 cubes. Let's look at the example. We have an amount here, okay? It says fluid tanks can store large amounts of liquids, which is true, alright? We're seeing some mechanisms and such that can be useful. We also see that it gives us redstone signals, right? Redstone outputs like a chest at max capacity, with a max output of 15. That's what we have. They explain different uses, but basically it's for storing fluids, okay? So yeah, it's that simple. How does the portable fluid interface work? Pay attention, okay? We have a copper casing and a shooter here. Got it? See the arrows pointing up? That's key. Let's check its use. They're showing us fluid tanks moving, but they can't... Look, they're moving and can't connect to any pipes, right? This part can work with excluded tanks without stopping. Watch closely, alright?
let's place a second block one space away, okay? They'll connect each time they pass each other. Got it? This way we'll be shooting or injecting the fluids, okay? So this feature here to rotate the tank might seem minor, but it's actually quite useful. For instance, we can use it to transfer liquid from one machine to another ahead, right? You might ask, why not connect them directly? Well, let's say we have multiple liquids, okay? Imagine we have 3 liquids, each with its own filters and such. Picture that. That's where this would come in handy. It may seem trivial, but when you think about it, you realize the possibilities it opens up. How does the mechanical bearing work? Pay attention, everyone. Crafting needs a slab, andesite, casing, and shaft. This will basically rotate our entire machine. Got it? We could debate its purpose, but let's move on. It's useful as a hub for fluid routing and filtering. 1 input, 3 outputs, no problem. We can toggle and filter the 3 outputs easily. It connects machines and manages resource storage. This way, the 2 machines produce and store their output in a warehouse. That's why we want a rotational area to alternate between resource management and storage. I don't know, I'm getting creative here, you know? But hey, everyone will find their own uses or spot those opportunities online and do their own thing, right? So yeah, that's how this tool works, and I hope you enjoyed it. How do mechanical and sticky pistons work? Okay, so basically you use a sticky casing, right? A piston extension and a slab, and then the same thing, okay? But to make it sticky, we add a slime ball. And how do these items function? As you can see, it has a gear and can move blocks in front of it. Got it? We're seeing some of the uses of this gear, this sequential gearbox, right? It lets us configure what we do a bit. There, for example, we're gluing it with adhesive. You can move larger structures and such. This has its uses, but I'm considering quite a few, honestly. Combining these pistons with normal ones can do very cool things. Remember that Create mod doesn't just have its own redstone, but also Minecraft's built-in redstone. So imagine the endless possibilities, right? How does the elevator pulley work? Well, basically this tool has a crafting recipe, okay? It's, well, pretty simple. And how does it function? Well, basically it's going to be, well, look, it says it right here, it says it here. The elevator will move structures, or basically pull them vertically between 2 marked areas, okay? There, for example, they explain how to build a cabin and such. We stick all this together with glue, okay? So the game interprets all this as one piece, and there, for example, it shows a gear, okay? With this rotator here. So it's going to connect, got it? Now, basically this elevator, well, it shows the elevator's mechanism, okay? It explains a bit how we can make an elevator and such, alright? Using this block and so on. And as you can see, we can make the elevator go up or down, okay? And that's it. Now you have an elevator. Now, is having an elevator in Minecraft useful? Honestly, no, okay? I mean, it's cool, it may be fun for a house, but 0 practical use, right? Yeah, I'm telling you. They show how to set inputs, outputs, even add a door we can open, okay? So, there you have it. I wonder if you can call the elevator from the 1st floor. I think so, but I'm not sure how. Oh, look, see? Press the button and it comes to you, okay? And, well, that's how you make an elevator, okay? To replicate it, just hold W here and that's it. How does this redstone link item work? Basically, it's crafted with andesite chasing and a transmitter, making it a unique crafting recipe. And what it essentially does is transmit redstone signals from one point to another. Got it? In other words, it's wireless redstone. I'm curious about the range, but basically you input to this redstone item and the others act like remote activators. They turn on, okay? It says placing items in slots can change the frequency, right? So if there's an iron ingot and a sapling, only that specific combination will activate. Got it? This prevents multiple links in the same area from all activating at once. So yeah, that's how it works. How does the pulse repeater work? We see different intervals like ticks, seconds, or minutes, which basically determine how often a pulse is emitted, right? And it's a repeater, correct? Let's see how it works. It receives redstone and sends that signal as a tick, okay? It's like a mini redstone input. This is really cool. This should be in regular Minecraft, honestly. Seriously. It saves you from creating clocks and lots of things that just lag the world. You just have this basically replaces a redstone clock, right? That's it. So there you have it. How does the redstone pulse controller work? Okay, well, it's basically this little box here, right? It gives us a brief introduction. It says, controls redstone links and assigns up to 6 buttons. Got it? It says, right-click to use controller, okay? The controller works while active. Right-click while crouching to open the setup menu. Right-click on a link receiver, alright? For a redstone link, well, activates blind mode. Press one of 6 controls to activate or assign to one of the link frequencies, and right-click on a lectern to place it for easy use. Right-click while crouching to pick it up again. Okay, I'm a bit overwhelmed. Look, we're seeing a bit of what they explained to us, right? This is to control, for example, different controllers. Got it? Here, in case of different frequencies. There aren't any here, but let's create some. Right click, crouch, and assign frequencies, okay? There, see? That'd help us. Now this frequency here, basically we have different frequencies, right? Each frequency is activated by a button, okay? For example, up, down, left, right, base, and left control, got it? Here, assign this frequency, okay? Frequency 1, 2 to this redstone link. Set ground and ground. Now right click and press W. It should activate. Not sure why, but it's not working for me. Oh, you need to right click first. Right click and assign to W. Did you see that? It says press W, A, S, D, space or left control. Now I right click and press W, but nothing happens, man. Absolutely nothing, dude. I'm pretty sure I'm doing it right, okay? The frequency is on D, and let's see, if I crouch, it's assigned, right? But for some reason, it doesn't do anything. Well, I got it now. Basically, you have to right click while crouching, okay? And there are two types of redstone signals. The ones that send, right? Those that send the pulse and those that receive it. So you have to set it to receive mode, okay? And now you basically do, well, let's look at the frequencies. So frequency D in space, okay? So it's assigned by right clicking, as I said. Right click, then use D to activate that one and space for this one. See that? Boom, boom, boom. And that's how we can activate the redstone remotely with this controller. You can put it on a lectern too, okay? Just right click and that's it, okay? Boom, boom. Simply right clicking now makes it work. It's also a way to keep the controller steady. When you right click again, it'll unassign. That's it. Alright, how does the rope pulley work in the create mod? Well, this item here has a simple crafting recipe, okay? It's just made with wool. Let's take a quick look at what it does. But basically, it's for pulling out a pulley, got it. Unlike a hose or other things, this will move items, okay? It moves blocks, structures, and such. Supposedly only vertically, alright? That's what it says. So don't try using it horizontally. And yeah, it just goes up and down. That's about it, really. How does the steam engine work? This steam engine here needs 1024 revolutions per minute, and what it basically does is we place it at the outlet of this heat generator. It uses a water pump that sends water in, heated by campfires. The energy generated is transmitted through a steam engine like this. What it does is generate movement and rotate. More power means faster movement or more gears it can turn. That's all there is to it. Alright, to wrap up, let's talk about what a steam whistle does, okay? This steam whistle is basically used to place on fluid tanks, for example. They show us a fluid tank with heat underneath it, right? And this steam will whistle when we can make it longer, okay? But it'll whistle a note when it's full, basically. It'll make a sound when activated by a redstone signal to alert. It's a way to give audible alerts, okay? So with that, we've finished the guide. There's a ton of stuff in the create mod, okay? You can make farms, you can do everything. You can build farms, factories, really anything. I haven't even made farms in regular Minecraft, let alone the create mod. But hey, you never know, right? The channel's doing well, maybe we'll mix mod reviews with Minecraft farms? Why not? I've always been a technical player, so tell me what you think in the comments. See you later. How does a smart observer work? Basically, it's made with an electron, brush casing, and observer. We'll see its usefulness next. It can detect various items or fluids inside tools, okay? Put a filter on top and it'll send a redstone pulse if it detects the right block. See? It just sent a redstone pulse. It's useful when an item we want exits, sending a signal. I'm showing how it works, not really its practical use. So that's how this smart observer functions. It's pretty clever, to be honest, indeed. How does the mechanical assembler work? This tool is crafted using an electron tube, which is made like this, okay? Polished quartz is made with rose quartz, got it? And sandpaper. Rose quartz is made this way. And we have brass chasing, made with a cut piece of wood, okay? That's it. Right click with a brass ingot. So what's it for? Well, it helps us make... Look, we can grab 3 at once, see? Think of it like a crafting table, alright? Here's a quick demo of how it works, okay? This item goes right, then right items go down, down. The center one goes down, left ones go left, then join up, got it? From left to right. Now let's see an example to help you understand better. It's hard to see, but look, it places the wood here, okay? It says right click to place items, got it? There it shows the crafting recipe for a dispenser, see? Watch it slowly push items there and it crafts a piston, sorry. Okay, I'll put it back. Materials are there, they combine, finally forming the piston, see? It also shows how to start crafting using redstone, alright? And there, for example, it crafts a pickaxe. So that's how we can craft things automatically. How does the mechanical bearing work? Pay attention, everyone. Crafting needs a slab, andesite casing, and shaft. This will basically rotate our entire entire machine. Got it? We could debate its uses, but that's not the point. It's a communication hub. For example, with 2 inputs and outputs, we can filter liquids from one side to another, or 1 input and 3 outputs, right? This lets us toggle and filter the 3 outputs, or link 2 machines and manage resources to store it. This way, the 2 machines produce and store their output in a warehouse. We want a rotational area to alternate between resource management and storage. I don't know, I'm just getting creative here, you know? But everyone will find their own uses or spot those opportunities online and do their own thing, right? So yeah, that's how this tool works, and I hope you enjoyed it. How does a smart observer work? Basically, it's built with an electron, brush casing, and observer. We'll see its usefulness next. It can detect various items or fluids inside. Tools, okay? We put a filter on top, and if the block in front matches, it sends a redstone pulse. See? It just sent a redstone pulse. It's useful when an item we want exits, triggering a signal. The utility here isn't it's showing how it works, but not its practical use. So that's how this smart observer functions. It's quite intelligent, actually. Yes, indeed. How does the threshold switch work? Basically, this tool is made with an electron tube, 2 casings, and a redstone comparator. It swaps the monitor and tells us how full the chest is, for example. This double chest. It says when the content is too full, a redstone signal will be sent. The redstone signal is sent until the redstone level drops again. You can set the limits. It accumulates items until it reaches this limit. Once this limit is reached, it drops until it hits another limit. That's how it works, same with fluid banks and such. It's a controlled way to ensure items move correctly without constant movement, which might cause a bit too much lag or something similar.